Good evening, everyone. Hi. Hi, Joanne. It's great to have you here. As I'm sure most of you that have seen me advertising about this is my friend, Johann Callaghan, who's an absolute expert in sleep. I'm just going to, I've been busy trying to get on there, but I'm just going to tell you a few things that I know about her, and there's so much I could tell you about her. Joanne is a best-selling author, speaker, sleep science coach, health and wellness coach, and podcaster. She's the creator of Empowering Sleep Success, 12-week live program online. Her podcast, Empowering Family Health, is a very successful show helping to empower parents and families all over the globe. She is featured many times in the media, on radio, TV, newspapers and magazines, and she's an award-winning entrepreneur. Her best-selling book, which is called How to Get a Good Night's Sleep, is available on Amazon, and we put the link in the comments after that. It's also available in audio. Joanne helps to educate, inspire, and empower people to take back their own power to live a better, healthier, and happier life with better sleep and a healthier lifestyle. That's just some of it. I honestly used to think, oh, you just sleep or you don't. I had no idea how important a good night's sleep, sleep really is to us. And I've been mesmerized every time I talk to her or listen to her. I think I just learn so much more every time. So I was so excited and really looking forward to her coming on to tell us more about it. I met Joanne some time ago in one of our networking groups called Your Holistic Academy, a wonderful networking group. And as I say, I met her there, and I've just been so interested in everything she has to say, and can never hear enough of it. So Joanne, thanks again so much for coming on. I'm going to really let you take it from there, and you decide what format you're going to use, because whatever you do, it's going to be wonderful.
Fantastic, Noeleen. And listen, thank you so much for inviting me on today. I always love the opportunity to speak about how important sleep is, because Noeleen, so many people, when they think of health and wellness, they think of getting out and doing some exercise and eating the right foods. But many people forget about sleep. And sleep is really, it's vital. It's vital for living. It's vital for our health and wellness, for all areas of our health. It's vital for us physically. On a physical level, it's vital for us mentally and emotionally, spiritually even, because, some people may not have a purpose in their life, or, that get up and go, that drive to do something meaningful in their life. And it could be something small, or it could be a massive mission that people are on. So all of this really, with a good night's sleep, helps us to be better at all of that. Really, a good night's sleep helps us be better at everything in our life. And it also affects our relationships with people, because if you're tired and you're grumpy, you're not going to be in the humor of having a chat with someone, and you're just not going to be in the humor of, talking even, you're just so tired and you can't think straight. So look, everybody has experienced at some stage in their lives a sleepless night. And for the most part of it, there's nothing wrong with that. We do have upsets in our life. Things happen, but as long as they're short term and they're once off. But the problem occurs when it's frequent. And also the main problem that I'm encountering is, as human beings, we're probably the only living species that deliberately deprive ourselves of sleep. And like, if you look at a dog or a cat, once they're tired, they'll go over to the corner and they'll curl up in a ball and they'll go asleep. And that's what they do. They listen to their body. They're very present. They're in the here and now, animals are, and they listen to their bodies. We don't. And our bodies give us so many signs and signals. And, we may have pain, or if we're irritable or triggered very easy. These are signs that we need more rest and relaxation, and there's something that our body needs that it doesn't have right now. And in this time that we're in at the moment, Noeleen, so many of us, with this virus that's going around, and it's going on a very, very long time now. It's like a roller coaster. And there's actually a new term now called coronasomnia, right? And this is created by medical doctors, because there's the pandemic insomnia, as they call it, is here. And there's so many more people now that have a lot more anxiety. And with more anxiety, you're going to have a heightened level of alertness. So once the body feels threatened in any way, it's going to be on a higher alert. It's not going to be able to relax naturally. And with sleep, sleep is a natural onset. It's a natural thing that we do. But if we're constantly stressed, it's going to have an impact on how well we sleep at night. So Noeleen, I have a presentation, like it's just a few slides. I don't know if I can share the screen. I'll just try there actually. No, it's not. I can't get in. But look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'll make you the host. Let me make you the host here.
Yeah, and if not, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But there's some really interesting statistics, Noeleen, I'll just share with people before I share the screen.
Try that one to the host.
Let me see if I can get in there now. Ah, yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Noeleen. I got it.
I'm learning.
Yeah. So what I'm going to really like, there's so much that I can speak about, Noeleen, about this topic, and I'm just going to select a few slides here. One of the important things is our brain function. So our brain is part of our nervous system, and it really determines everything that goes on in our body. So, there's all different systems in our body: our immune system, our digestive system, our reproductive system, and our brain really sends all the signals to these different parts of the bodies, and the nervous system is our information highway, if you like. Now, when we don't get enough sleep, it slows everything down, all that signaling to all the different parts of the body, it's all slowed down. So this is a really important factor. And something else with the brain function, obviously we know that, the cognitive ability, so our ability to make a decision, everything is just slowed down. And that's going to have an impact. Another really big finding, Noeleen, over maybe the last 15, 20 years is Alzheimer's, dementia. This has significantly been linked to sleep deprivation. And we know Alzheimer's can take 10 years or maybe even more to develop. And it's a very slow, gradual process. And it has been shown through research that people who suffer with sleepless nights for 2 years before the onset of insomnia, they complain an awful lot of sleepless nights. And they're much more likely to get Alzheimer's within the 2 years there. And at the moment in Ireland, there is there's more than 55,000 people now living with dementia. These figures are from the last year or two. But the numbers are growing, and a lot of people are worried about their memory because naturally as we get older, stuff declines, but there's a lot that we can do that will help to slow that down, slow down that aging process, if you like. And dementia is, and Alzheimer's in particular, is a very big factor, and it has been shown that we have these toxins in our brain and they're cleared out at nighttime. I go into it a lot deeper on my programs. But that's actually what's happening at nighttime, and it's only at nighttime when this happens, when we're in a deep phase of sleep, and that's really, really important to know. And as I say, this has only been discovered in the last 15 or 20 years or so, that these clusters of these toxic proteins are actually in the patients of these the Alzheimer's patients. Now, lots of other things can contribute to it, but sleep is a big factor for sure.
So in other words, Joanne, if you're not sleeping, you're not going to get rid of these toxins and they're going to build up.
They're going to build up. That's exactly it. So at nighttime, when you're in a deep phase of sleep, so we have all these different phases of sleep. I'll just touch on them briefly in a moment. But it's the deep phase of sleep where all this brain regeneration and the clearing out, it's like cleaning out the garbage, if you like, in your brain. And this is what happens at nighttime. So right now, we're talking about our immune system. This is another factor as well, our immune system. So we want to keep our immune system really strong. And sleep has a major impact on our immune system. And, you want to keep your immune system strong. That's your immune system. It's your first line of defense. And it has been shown that, again, through research, this is all scientific evidence that, if you sleep, shorter sleepers, they're 4 times more likely to catch the common cold. And we know now during the winter time that you're more likely to catch colds because obviously they thrive in cold conditions. You're breathing in cold air. This is where they thrive, all the viruses. And it has been shown. And also another really interesting statistic is this one here. If you sleep for 5 hours or less, this is Matthew Walker. He's a neuroscientist and he says that if you sleep for 5 hours or less, your natural killer cells, and this is part of your immune system, they're what's known as T cells. They actually kill cells, because you see what happens is the virus goes inside the cell, and that's why it's harder to detect viruses than it is like a bacterial infection. So the virus lives inside the cell and it replicates, and the natural killer cells can actually identify these types of cells where the virus is living inside your cells, and it can destroy that cell and the virus inside it. So if you don't have enough natural killer cells, then it's going to have an impact on any viruses that you have in your body. And viruses are very, very sneaky. I was just blown away. When I wrote my book, How to Get a Good Night's Sleep, when I wrote that and I discovered this, I was blown away. And obviously, if your immune system is more comprised, so if you have any other underlying health conditions, it can be up to the 70%. And typically, if you have a very strong immune system, it's at least 50%. At least 50% of your immune system is reduced. And that's significant. And that's just in one night. That's just in one night of not getting enough sleep. So you could generally have a very good, strong immune system. You know, you're taking your microbiome and all these things, and your zinc and your vitamin D and all these things that help with your immune system. But you could just have one night, and then you can be comprised for those few hours the next day. And that would be when you'd be susceptible to catching a virus or flu or whatever, or this virus that's going around. So that's how significant it can be. Also, it's also been shown, Noeleen, that poor sleep is the number one factor that determines whether someone would get sick after being exposed to the common cold. So you're more susceptible to picking up something. That's basically what that means. You're more susceptible. And also, it can take a lot longer to recover as well. Let me just see where the next slide is. It can take a lot longer to recover. No, it's not in there. But it can take a lot longer for you to recover after a cold or a flu or any kind of operation or recovering from anything. If you're not sleeping well, it's going to take you a lot longer. And you may also notice that if you have a cold or a flu for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and it just doesn't seem to be going away, well, it could be because you're not getting enough rest. You may find that you're more tired even during the day when you're run down or when you have a cold. And sometimes you may not even be aware that you have a cold, right? But if you're feeling extra tired, your body is fighting something. So again, it's really important to listen to your body, and you may need to go for a lie down, a nap, or just, do something. You do need extra rest when you're overcoming a cold. And if you go to your doctor, the doctor will say, go home and get plenty of fluids and plenty of rest, because your body is deliberately making you tired, because it's only when you're resting and when you have the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic is the rest and digest system. And when that is turned on, that is only when you are healing. So your body deliberately makes you tired. Your body is so intelligent. I'm just blown away by it all the time. So here's, actually melatonin is your sleep hormone, okay? So this is really, really significant. So melatonin helps you sleep, but it does so much more than that. So obviously melatonin is produced during the daytime with sunshine, your exposure to sunshine. And most people will know at this stage, anybody who's listened to me before, your mobile phones and devices, so the blue screen, that blue light that's emitted from your screens, it actually inhibits melatonin, because the blue light that's present in daylight, the blue light from your screens mimics daylight. So your brain thinks it's still daytime. So it's not going to release the melatonin, allowing you to naturally sleep. But melatonin also helps you stay asleep during the nighttime. That's something else as well a lot of people aren't aware of. Many people suffer with waking up during the nighttime in the middle of the night, and this could be one reason you may not have enough melatonin to transition you through all the different stages. I'll talk about the stages now in just a second. But your melatonin is also an antioxidant. And look, we have so many toxins in our environment. We have toxins in our food. So many people are eating processed foods, and even farmed foods. A lot of our crops are sprayed with pesticides, and these are highly toxic to our bodies. And the air that you breathe, there's pollution in the air. The water that we're drinking, there's like lead and all sorts of toxins in there if people are drinking tap water, and even bottled water. You've got the BPA, the plastics, especially if you leave your bottled water near a window, or if it's in a car and it gets warm or sunlight, that plastic is leaching into the water.
Yeah.
So it's just so there's lots and lots of toxins. Even the care products that we're using nowadays, there's lots of chemicals.
Even, Joanne, I was thinking some of the, the sofas, the things you sit on, the retardants that put on them, the toxins are just absolutely everywhere. I get that so much as well.
Everywhere. And it's the accumulation, it's the accumulated effect. And nowadays, Noeleen, we're all been restricted. This is our third lockdown, and with all these lockdowns, where most people are staying indoors a lot more. I know some people are going out and going out walking, but people aren't getting out and going to work. They're at home. They've nowhere to go, really. Everywhere's closed. So more and more people are actually staying at home, and your indoor air quality is worse than your outdoors. And this all has an impact. And even when you're indoors, I'm going slightly off topic now, but when you're indoors, you're not getting out and getting the sunshine that you vitally need to help with your circadian rhythm. I'll talk about circadian rhythm in a second. But so that's another really important factor. Now, going back to the melatonin, it's highly antioxidant. It helps with your anti-aging as well. So many people are aging really, really fast, and an awful lot of that is the stressful environment that we have. So stress can be comprised of our thoughts and all these toxins in our environment as well. So there's so much. So just to be aware. Now, we can't get rid of toxins, but we can do an awful lot to reduce them. And if we are aware, and there's so much more I can go into there, but I'll just leave it at that. But just really wanted to emphasize that it is a very potent antioxidant, melatonin.
Can I ask you, Joanne, do you think that melatonin would work on a short-term basis? Because sometimes I remember when, obviously I've flown for years, and sometimes when people did long flights and there'd be a big time change and they tried to sleep, the girls or the people would take melatonin on a short term just to get to sleep, to stay to sleep, and then, when they got back to a regular pattern, they wouldn't use it anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly what a lot of the people do, especially when you're going through different time zones.
Time zones, exactly, yeah.
Because if you're we have a rhythm, a rhythm, and it's a 24-hour biological process, this circadian rhythm. So it's daytime, nighttime, and it's pretty much influenced by the daylight. Our daylight is so important. Even when we don't have an awful lot of sunshine, which we don't in Ireland, but getting outdoors, you're still getting better quality light outdoors than you would be indoors. It's still a lot stronger, and your body can decipher between daytime and nighttime. And it produces the hormones according to the time of day. Like, your body is just so intelligent. But yes, you're right. A lot of people would take the melatonin. And I don't think you can't get it over the counter here in Ireland. I know in the States you can. But yeah, you're right. I've
heard buy it online. You can buy it online. Sometimes I would use it occasionally.
Yeah. And you need to be careful of the amounts of melatonin that you take as well. You only need a tiny amount. And if you take too much, it can have an adverse effect as well. So yeah, only use it on and off. And sometimes there may be another issue at hand that's causing you sleepless nights, and it may not be melatonin. And melatonin is a hormone, so we need to be careful of that as well. It's a hormone, so we need to really be respectful of that as well. I'll touch slightly on the stages of sleep. So we have these stages of sleep. And again, I'm not going to go in depth, but, we have light stages of sleep, and, it takes us at least 15 minutes to go to sleep. I have a lot of people, Noeleen, it's so funny. People say to me, oh, I have no problem going to sleep. 2 minutes, put my head in the pillow and I'm gone. And I say to them, well, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's actually a sign of sleep deprivation, because we naturally take at least 15 minutes to go asleep and go through all the phases. And it's a sure sign of you're sleep deprived. A lot of people who have sleep apnea, which is a sleep disorder, it's this breathing, inability to breathe properly during the nighttime. A lot of people have sleep apnea and are not aware of it. And it can have devastating consequences on your health on a long term if it's not treated. And so many people are undiagnosed with sleep apnea. But a lot of people who can go asleep within 2 minutes, 1 minute even, they pride themselves in this, and it is a sure sign that you are sleep deprived. So it does take a natural, at least 15 minutes to go to sleep. And stage 3 is where the deep sleep begins, stage 3 and 4. And this is where all the healing, repairing is done in the body. And we absolutely need to get to that stage. But the problem, Noeleen, is because we are living in such a stressful world at the moment, so many people they're not getting deep enough. They're not spending enough time in that deep sleep. This is where all the T cells I was talking about earlier, immune system, all those cells are made, and all the healing, the tissue repairs. Inflammation in the body is taken down. Inflammation is natural, but all these toxins I was talking about, the more toxins, the more of this you have in the body, the more inflammation you're going to have. And inflammation is a byproduct as well of natural metabolism in the body too. And then of course you've got oxidative stress as well in the body, and this is kind of like rusting inside the body, which leads to this premature aging. So if that's not all mopped up at nighttime, it's going to lead to reduced longevity really overall, but also diseases. Type 2 diabetes is a very big one at the moment, and obesity. So I'm just conscious of the time, Noeleen, and I'm just really touching on a few of these areas. Stress is a big, massive thing at the moment, as I say, and really it's only when we're in that rest and digest phase where all the healing is done. And for many of us now, like thousands of years ago, we'd run away from the saber-toothed tiger, and as soon as the tiger was gone, we'd go back to our normal everyday living. And but nowadays, that stress is, it could be traffic, it could be family. An awful lot of us are at home now, and we're spending too much time. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, too much time with each other, but we're not getting the space that we need, and there's lots of anxiety at the moment, uncertainty, fear, and that is constantly having us have our fight or flight on, and that has an impact on our digestion, because it's not important to digest our food if we're running away from that tiger, and our system still still acts the same way that it did thousands of years ago, because this is how we've evolved. So to be able to get into that natural rest and digest is key. So we need to do what we can to enable this rest and digest. So that could be, meditating or going for a walk, doing yoga, whatever it is that you enjoy doing that slows you down. We need to slow down and, process what's going on in the day and just reflect, instead of being on the go and trying to get as much as we can done during the daytime, because you can actually be more productive when you take time out. It's really important to take a rest during the daytime. We have a natural dip in the day, normally between 1 and 3 o'clock, and that's a natural dip. And that's a good time to have a nap if you need to have a nap. Only have a nap for 20 minutes, half an hour max. But it's a good time to rest because everything in our body naturally slows down. So our body is so intelligent. It has this rhythm. We need to get into this rhythm again. Getting out first thing in the morning is really, really important. But just talking on the circadian rhythm, Noeleen, we have all these processes that happen in our body during the daytime and nighttime. We've daytime hormones, we've nighttime hormones. Our blood pressure, our body temperature, it all fluctuates, during the daytime, and it's the same rhythm all the time. But because so many of us now, we're not getting outdoors as much, exercise is really important. We need to get fresh air. We need that sunlight, because that's our cue for this circadian rhythm. So many of us are on our devices a lot more, so we're exposed to this blue light, which is really confusing the body about melatonin. So our melatonin is our nighttime hormone, and cortisol is our daytime hormone. Cortisol is related to the stress response, but we do need cortisol. We do need a certain amount of stress. It's what gets us up and going. But it's the balance. It's the balance between them. And our cortisol is ideally supposed to naturally be a lot lower in the evening time, and melatonin is naturally higher in the evening time. So there's a lot more that I can go on, Noeleen, but I'm just conscious of the time.
Don't worry, we came on a wee bit later than usual, so maybe 5 or 10 minutes, feel free. I don't want you to have it to rush, don't worry, honestly. I'm sure if people are like me, they'll be just so happy to hear it all, so don't worry about that. If you've got the time, go ahead.
Brilliant. One of the things that I really want to point out, Noeleen, is this thing with the mobile phones. Oh my God. So many people bring their mobile phones to bed. I think there's maybe 70-80% of people and teenagers.
I'm afraid sometimes.
Yeah. And a lot of people say, oh, I need it for my alarm clock. And, there's this whole conversation around Wi-Fi and 5G and all of this as well, which is having an impact on our health. It's having an impact right down to the cellular level, believe it or not. A lot of scientific reports done on that as well. But the mobile phones, a lot of people say to me, but I have that filter on my phone and it takes away the blue light. But it's not that. It's a combination of phone stimulates your brain, first of all. So you don't want to be stimulating your brain at nighttime when you're going to bed. If you're flicking through social media or any of that, if you find yourself scrolling, you're going down that rabbit hole of the internet, that's dopamine. And dopamine it's a neurotransmitter. It's a feel-good one, but it's an excitatory one. So it keeps you addicted. And that's why we cannot put down our phones, during the daytime or the nighttime. And then, of course, the blue light as well. So there's a few different things, a combination of things. And some people, if they wake up during the night, they're reaching their phone to check the time. And again, you've been exposed to the blue light, and then you might find yourself starting to scroll. Oh, I'll just check to see if a message came in or whatever, right? So the phones is just lethal. It's absolutely lethal. Really try and keep your phone out of your bedroom if you can. Definitely put your phone on flight mode at night time. And if you have a screen filter for that blue light, do it, but it's not going to resolve. It's not going to make it okay for you to use at night time. Same with your laptops. There is a program called Flux, F.LUX. It's a free filter that you can get for your laptop. And I think Twilight is one that you can use if you have an Android phone, but I know the iPhones do have a nighttime. I obviously don't have an iPhone, but it has a nighttime filter or something on it that blocks out that blue light. But really, Noeleen, if I was to say to people, mind what you're saying to yourself about sleep. Are you saying things like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, or I don't have time for sleep? Because what you're saying to yourself, you believe. And your relationship to sleep is massive. That's the first thing that I talk about in any course is mindset around sleep. What's your view on sleep? How do you feel about sleep? Is it a priority? Do you value sleep? And these are all really, really important questions, because some people come to me and they say, I only need 4 or 5 hours of sleep and that's all I need, like it's a badge of honor. But a lot of people can cope and get used to that. But your life, I guarantee you, will be a lot more productive and a lot more better if you tried having a little bit more sleep. Now, there are a few people that have gene mutations who do only need maybe 5 hours of sleep and they function fine, but there's only a very small, minute number of people with that gene mutation. I love this quote by Henry Ford, whether you think that you can or you can't, you're usually right. So this is back to your beliefs. Whatever you tell yourself, you believe. So really, really be mindful of how you speak to yourself about sleep. And that is really the first step, is your relationship. How do you view sleep? I am doing a program with Caroline McDonough, who's a nutritionist. I'm doing this with her starting on the 18th of January. That's next week. And it's nutrition and sleep. It's for the brain and the body, helping you to optimize your energy and your performance and overall well-being. Because for so many people, it's January. A lot of people have their New Year's resolutions. Most of them fail, by the way. And sleep and nutrition, like we have all our different pillars of health. And I'm really excited about this program because Caroline is just an expert in her field around nutrition. And we decided to come together and marry these two because we need good nutrition for sleep. And we need good nutrition for lots of different things. For our brain health, we need food that will help us have more energy. Lots of reasons why we need to have good, healthy, nutritious foods, but they also help us to sleep better, and vice versa. Good sleep can help you make the good food choices, because so many people, if they're sleep deprived, there's these two hormones that we have in the body that become imbalanced and they cause you to crave the wrong types of food. And I go into that more in depth on my program, but it's absolutely massive when it comes to people who want to lose weight, and not just weight, but bad fat. It's the bad fat you want to lose, you don't want to lose weight on your good muscles, your muscle mass. You don't want to lose weight there. You want to lose your weight on the bad fat. And you can literally do this while you sleep. And I came across these studies, and it really, because your body is optimized, your home, your insulin, all this stuff is optimized with good sleep that helps you to burn fat when it's needed and stop you from storing excess energy as fat, because the body may think that it's in a famine, or because if you're not sleeping well, your body needs more energy. And one of the quickest ways to do that is getting cortisol, which is from your stress response. Cortisol makes glucose, and that's the quickest fix. But if we've too much glucose in the body, it's going to end up leading to type 2 diabetes. Now, there's a whole process to that. I talk about all that on my program in relation to sleep, what happens at night when you're sleeping. But we're also going to be talking about the immune system as well, which is very vital at the moment, and how good food, nutrition and sleep help with boosting your immune system. And also, we're going to be talking about managing your stress, because stress cannot be underestimated when it comes to performing well, having more energy, and really being able to get into that healing state, because your body is always wanting to heal itself. And all you have to do is provide the right environment for your body to do that. You don't even necessarily need to know how. Once you provide the right environment for your body to heal, and that includes good quality sleep. So we're going to be talking about all of that. It's a 6-week program. There's an introductory price of $297. If that doesn't suit people, I also have my own. You can go to johanncallaghan.com, and I have some other shorter version courses there. Or just look me up on Facebook. There's all my details there. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. I also have my podcast as well, if you want to listen to some of the podcasts, some of the episodes there too. So Noeleen, that's my presentation. That's what I have for you this evening. And I do welcome, if anybody wants to leave a question in the comments on your Facebook group there, I'd be happy to answer them. And if somebody wants to reach out to me for a free 15-minute consultation as well, they can do that also. They can just PM me or just leave a note in your comments, and I'll answer all the questions. So thank you, Noeleen. I'm really delighted. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I was actually going to, I'm nearly speechless because I was just hanging on to every word you were saying there. But yeah, your tips ideally initially is just to get more aware of sleep and why you need it, the basic things, the sort of things you've mentioned at the end there. And then if you leave, as you say, if you leave your details as well, Joanne, for us in the comments, and then people can contact you, because I know you do have lots of different things happening where they can contact you or they can join you or anything like that. And if they've got any questions as well, if they leave them there, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, I'm just so delighted, Noeleen, because getting a good night's sleep, it costs nothing, and it's just so impactful. Like it just impacts you everywhere, right down to how you relate to people, your physical health, your mental health. And right now we're easily triggered because there's so many people are, they don't know what's going on. And so many people are just so emotionally triggered because we're not feeling safe, and there's a lot of fear. And then when you're not sleeping well on top of that, because there's a lot of anxiety, this is massive, Noeleen. So I really do encourage people to reach out to me, and I do that free 15-minute, we have a little chat just to see where I can help you. So yeah, it just cannot be underestimated how a good night's sleep will help you.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fascinated because I just took it for granted when I don't sleep. And obviously it depends what work you're doing and things. It's just the way it is, but it's not. You can prepare yourself. As one of my sons says, Mum, you need to prepare yourself for a good night's sleep. And I'm thinking, yeah, but I realise you do. And there are so many things you can do to do that. Small things, but they certainly do work. I, for one, I'm sleeping much, much better now. And every time I listen to you, I pick up more tips. I think this is amazing. So it's well worth doing it when you think, I remember something as well, like the hours between 1 and 3, the different times when different parts of the body heal. And sometimes I think I used to be not even in bed at that time. I think, oh my goodness, you need to be in the bed at that time, because otherwise it's not going to happen. And
you're going to have better quality sleep before 12 midnight. And just a bit to it. I won't go into it, but yeah, you're
different times. And I think I had no idea. I thought you slept. It didn't matter when you slept, but obviously the different times, the different hours that you sleep makes such a difference to it as well. There's just so much, Joanne.
Yeah,
I'm going to certainly join your course. I'm really looking forward to it.
I want to give you a joke, Noeleen, right, to lighten it up, because it is a serious topic. But here's a joke for you, right? You ready?
Yeah.
What do you call a sleeping bull?
A sleeping bull.
A bulldozer.
Oh.
I've one more for you, okay? Let me see. What do you call a sleepwalking nun? A Roman Catholic. You know, where people roam around at night, a Roman Catholic. Anyway, I just thought I'd lighten the mood up with those few jokes.
All right, brilliant. Well, listen, Joanne, thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Anyway, I'm going to sign up for the course. I can't wait. And as I say, if you put all your details in the comments, that'll be great. And anybody who wants to contact, you can do that. Brilliant.
Listen, Noeleen, thank you so much. Good night and take care and sleep well tonight.
I certainly will. Thanks a million, Joanne. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.